Hey guys, Pastor Justin here with another Snapshots from the Bible where we just take a little passage and look at it. Nothing too in-depth. And today I wanted to look at 1 Timothy 5 and just the first couple verses of 1 Timothy 5 where he writes this, and this is Paul writing to his protege Timothy, a young pastor who's receiving advice from Paul. And Paul says, "Do not rebuke an older man harshly, but exhort him as if he was your father. Treat younger men as brothers, older women as mothers, and younger women as sisters with absolute purity." And I want to stop because you go, okay, like be nice to each other. Thanks, Paul. That's interesting. But first of all, we need to understand that every letter in the New Testament is usually what we call task theology. It was written for a purpose. It was written in response to either a question or a situation that was going on in the church. So it's very important for us to know and to figure out what was the question and what was the situation. Because then we can really start to understand, like, does this apply universally? Does this apply in specific situations? These are the things that we pastors and theologians go through. But when we look at this passage and we go, well, why did Paul need to write this? Why did Paul need to write, "Do not rebuke an older man harshly"? You know why? Because people in the church were. Why did he need to write, "Treat younger men as brothers and older women as mothers"? Because people were disrespecting. The young were disrespecting the old were disrespecting the young. And then, probably most disturbingly, he says, "And treat younger women as sisters with absolute purity." So people were being very unpure to some of the younger women at the church. Were they being harassed? Was there some hanky-panky going on we don't know about, possibly? But Paul's writing this to Timothy saying, this right here is the model for a family. And the church is a family. And I don't think a lot of Christians really understand that God has set up, Jesus has set up his body to be a family with each other. That he has given us elders, and by that I don't mean the elders of session, I mean older, more experienced Christians to mentor and to teach the younger. And he's given us the younger ones to be the energy and the enthusiasm and the ones to grow up in their faith. And so we're brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers, and we're literally a family. And this is a hard concept for people in the church to understand. I remember when we told our kids several months ago, we went through a little devotional. We were talking about how we are in the church, brothers and sisters. And they went, "What?" And I said, but the interesting thing is, when you kids become a Christian, you're also my brother. I'm your dad, but I'm also your brother in Christ. That weirded them out significantly. Dad can't be a brother. But I wanted to start planting these seeds that when we walk into a church on Sunday morning, and we sit down in the pews, we are not amid strangers. We're not amid a bunch of people that we don't understand, that are different than us. They're not part of our family unit. God's breaking down those walls and saying, all these people are your family. And when you understand that people are your family, you start to treat them better. And that's really what Paul is saying here. He's looking at the actions, how we treat people in the church as a family. You don't go up to your mom and spit in her face. You don't go up to your dad and you yell at him, hopefully, unless you have a very dysfunctional or broken relationship in your home. You don't treat your brother or your sister badly. You're there for them. You protect them. You honor them. You uphold them. You encourage them. You're gentle toward them. You're loving to them. You're excited to see them. And this is what Paul is trying to nudge this church in that direction, saying we need to grow together as a family. And that's what we here at Knox have been striving to do. We need to grow together as a family. And step one is to see ourselves as a family. To understand that, I know that the saying goes, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. Well, God chooses your family for you. He's chosen your church family. And you don't get a say in that. You don't get a say in who you get to love and who you don't get to love. God says to love everyone, especially your Christian brothers and sisters. And so this is our challenge. This is our task. This is the bar that God has set here for us amid the church, is to love others as our family because they are our family. they will continue to be our family in heaven. So let's start doing that this week if we're not already. God bless. Have a wonderful week.